How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be drawing a Cupcake Shopkin to the best of our ability. Let's get going. Happy Thursday, kids. I got a shamrock shake and I'm going to drink it while we're drawing. So there's that. So we're going to zoom in and get started. But before I do, I'm going to show you guys what I got from a student. They wanted me to share it. So her name is Kaylin, and she's a second grader, and she gave me this little cupcake eraser and 2 bookmarks. And I just want to say thank you so much. So here they are. I'm just going to put them to the side. I might use the eraser. I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to put the eraser off to the side. So here it is. Kind of cute, and kind of relates to what we're drawing today when it comes to sweets. It's not a Shopkin, but it'll do, and it's useful. So right now I'm going to try to figure out what to color the bottom of the wrapping, and it's going to have hands, of course. So I'm drawing one end of the cupcake followed by the other end, and it's going to be at a slant because it's kind of tipping over the plate, so to speak. So here's the hand, and there's going to be another hand holding kind of like a wand, I think that's what she's holding. I'm going to call this cupcake a she, and over here are some asterisks to emphasize the wrapping itself. So I'm just going to put this in random spots. It's kind of like in a curved motion, that way the top frosting can be curved. So here's the other hand, and it's going to be grabbing something. Kind of has an upward fist to it, and that fist is a little bit bigger than the other hand, which is okay. Those are the lower eye ducts. Alright, time to do the upper frosting. And I know I'm using black markers, and they're good. I mean, they're not bad, but I really don't like the color accuracy on them. But regardless, I will continue to use them. So here's a little bow, as you can see here. And then I'm going to curve it down. And I'm looking at this because I'm still kind of baffled of the color correction on this. I know it's supposed to dry, and then I know it's supposed to color match, but these don't really dry as well as the Prismacolor and the Copic ones do. So you get what you pay for, but they're still good. So if you ever want to get cheap markers, these Blick Studio markers work quite well. Okay, now I'm gonna do the plate. Okay, you're gonna curve down, kind of like a saucer with that oval, and then the oval kind of comes down, and then we'll do the inside of the plate, just like so. And then we'll do some shadows once we're coloring it later on. So I'm gonna use the same color to create kind of like a front inflection in the front, and this kind of be a kind of triangle. I have no idea what this is, but when I see the picture, that's what it looks like. So there we go. I'll color that later. So we don't need this color, it's called wine, by the way. Moving on to the top of the cupcake, but before we do that, let's do the one that they are holding. It kind of has an apple to the top of it. No clue why. There we go. There's the stem, and then the leaf. There we go. Simple apple. Okay, moving on to the top frosting. So I'm going to do a couple more loops with a little curve on top, and same thing on the other side. If it helps, you might want to turn your paper at an angle instead of what I'm doing right here to make it easier for yourself. So I'm going to do the inside curves, just like so. And I'm going to get a black marker to do the remainder of the eyes. In 1 sec. Here we go. This is what I normally trace with. Okay, I'm going to do one eye. It's going to be very huge, followed by some eyelashes. They're very thick. Okay, then I'm going to do the other eye. Very large, kind of an angle, and a little bit smaller. I'm going to try to mimic what I did on the other eye with this one, with 2 on the bottom and 1 on the top. Okay, and then I'm going to do the pupils. There we go. There's one pupil, and here is another pupil right over here. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just going to do a remainder of the blacks and try to map out the highlights. But before I do that, or after I do that, I should say, I'm going to speed it up. So over here you can see I'm going a little bit faster because all I'm doing now is coloring. So here's the pupils, followed by some facial features. Okay, and I'm being very selective about my coloring. And you'll see I'm kind of freeze framed because I'm still kind of baffled of how things are turning out when it comes to the color accuracy. But you can see as the time goes, the wand is kind of shifting color to the way I want it to. But you'll see how I edit things later on. So I'm adding sprinkles, or actually I did add sprinkles. This is what I thought was going to be lighter than actual tracing, so I go back later on to fix the tracing with a darker marker. So here I go. They're much better. There we are, and I'm going to go back to coloring again. As you can notice, see, it's goes on dark and then dries a little bit lighter to match it. Okay, and now I'm trying to map out where the highlights are going to be, and again, I'm baffled about this color. But it'll go back to its normal color eventually, once it starts to dry a little bit more. As you can see, it goes on dark, and then it'll go to the color that you want it to. So instant gratification is not always there when it comes to these type of markers, but it's okay. With enough practice, you can always turn something a little bit better. So right now I'm just doing the highlights and the shadows. I guess shadows first. There you go. And I decided to leave that middle part white. I was gonna do a cream color, but I just don't trust these markers. You never know what happened to the thin one. So anyways, I'm just doing the highlights with the whiteout pen, and that's basically it. I'm basically done with this drawing. So here's some more drawing videos if you guys are interested. And as always, if you guys can subscribe, that'd be great. If you can't, not a big deal. And as always, have a good one.